All right, everybody. So welcome back to the quarterfinals here at the 2013 Magic the Gathering State Championships. We are into our top 8, obviously, and right away into our feature match for the round. On the left, Dane Looman from Morgantown, playing a blue-white control list, which is exactly what you would expect it to be. And we're recording. And his opponent is Dave Snow, who plays at our shop there in Lost Legion in South Charleston, who's playing a mono red deck.
Usually what he plays. He's an aficionado for mono.
Yeah, we like to make fun of Dave Snow and have been for the entire week because Dave only likes to draw cards and play islands. But due to a variety of factors, decided to play mono red at this tournament. Obviously, it's suiting him well. Dave's a very accomplished player, so regardless of archetype, he's going to do pretty well.
There's not even browbeat in the format.
There's not, I know.
He's playing mono red.
So in turn 2, he's chaining a Burning Tree Emissary into a Young Pyromancer. He is playing the Young Pyromancer version of this deck. It is the 20 mountain, low land count, nothing that costs 4 or more.
Right.
So the first Pyromancer gets nugged there, and the second attack gets in. I don't think they're updating the life total. I think Dane is down to 14 because he took a hit from the Emissary last turn. Interesting to see if at what point Dave starts firing off his burn spells. Obviously, you want to do that as... Yeah, you're exactly right. No Supreme Verdict there. We're going to see a Celestial Flare, forcing Dave to sack a creature.
Ooh.
So obviously his hand is light on instants and sorceries, as he would have obviously cast that for some value.
Regardless, there's no X1. There's no punishment for sacrificing your Burning Tree there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there is. There's Detention Sphere. That's probably the right play if he had a follow-up Pyromancer.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Well, we knew the second one was on top of his library, obviously.
Yeah. There's another...
Yeah, he's main decking Celestial Flare. I've watched Dane play throughout the tournament today, and he has a lot of cards that would normally appear in the sideboard for this matchup in his main deck. And we're going to see a Dissolve, take out a Fire Fist Striker. And again, they're not updating the life totals there, but I believe Dane all the way down to 10 here. So there's a 6 mana, no Elspeth. So we've seen no Detention Sphere, no Supreme Verdict.
This has to be a revelation. He scribed one, kept it on the top, and it was Island, and there's no 6-drop.
Yeah, I can see the Revelation in his hand now. So there's another Fire Fist Striker, and it is, in fact, what you expected. The end of turn, Sphinx's Revelation for 3. So an Ancestral Recall, gaining 3 life. Again, I want to apologize to everyone. Due to the way the layout is for the state tournament, we are in the hallway outside the main convention hall, and they are breaking down some event that was next door to us and conveniently started doing so just as we started to broadcast. So there's going to be some ambient noise, but we will soldier through. We missed 6 rounds of coverage earlier. We're going to at least get this 3 rounds of coverage in here. So Dane sticks a Jace Architect of Thought, which effectively negates the Pyromancer.
Bring one more blue source than necessary, so you gotta expect a card like Celestial Flare here.
And he doesn't have it. Is this Chandra going to stick? That's the question.
He has 2 white open.
It's Mana Tithe. Double Mana Tithe.
Double Mana Tithe, yeah.
So Dave finding Planeswalker. That's the difference between his deck and some of the other mono red decks. Is he is playing the Chandras in his main. So the Planeswalker are going to be tough for Dane to deal with, short of Detention Sphere. And I would figure if he had had it earlier, he would have played it. He has a Mutavault in his hand that he's not playing.
The old go, take my Jace up, go again.
Dave Snow's a nice guy. There's another Revelation in Dane's hand, so his life total will effectively 13.
Not playing around double spear here, or whatever the new Searing Spear is.
So it's going to drop down to 9 and then back up to 14, is that correct? We have to get all these guys to update their life totals. And we see Dane does find a Detention Sphere in that Sphinx's Revelation.
They've drawn a lot of lands.
Yeah, he's not really drawn any of the aggressive cards in his deck, as we see a D-Sphere take out the Chandra here.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that out of all these lands he's drawn, none of them have been a Mutavault.
Yep. And he hasn't seemed to draw a single burn spell, or he may just be sandbagging burn until the end of the game. I think he has 2 more mountains in his hand. So Magic, obviously, very, very much a game of variance.
Taking 2.
Dave just piling in to Dane himself.
He's doing what, though? But the Jace goes one more turn. He might throw something out the next turn. I don't think he can let it automate because he just instantly goes and finds a Young Pyromancer out of Dave's deck and a Elspeth out of his own deck and just floods the board.
I guess you could argue he would get a Chandra if he has another one.
Well, if he has another one, yeah, there's 2 X1s on the field.
But yeah,
the main play is to get the Pyromancer.
The main play is get your own Elspeth and cast it for free, which I think is something that Dave is going to struggle to beat with this draw. So
I don't even think Dave lets him go through his deck.
So here's the point where we've decided to keep Jace honest, and as a result of the delayed trigger and the block from Mutavault, he's going to lose his Young Pyromancer. And still during Dave's turn, while Mutavault is a creature, he's going to Mizzy Mortars it. Can't imagine this resolving.
There's still no better use for Mizzy Mortars at this point.
I hear the hallway silence is checking.
That card has served Dave well in a lot of other matchups. However, this one, which is basically creatureless, it just serves as fodder. Jace going back up to 8.
You can market this however you want.
Firefish Strider can't even attack here.
The only answer she doesn't be looking at, however, is this one, so make sure you finalize it.
This is just being formal, I think.
Yeah, the turn 12 or 13 Rakdos Cackler not nearly as good.
Oh, it doesn't even let him have it.
You can't imagine it being relevant, but if you've got that many cards in your hand. I can only imagine that he has 2 counterspells at this point, because the only card that I would be anywhere close to being concerned about is the second copy of Chandra, but even that's not going to be much of a concern.
Well, he is dead to Devil's Play plus Flashback.
Sulfuric Vortex probably get there too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ultimate
Dave's
Jace and
ultimate
I'm not
Jace
going to let you look through my deck.
Right, and just pack it up from there. So the blue-white deck gets the first one, and these guys will move to their sideboards. I'm actually going to step in there and see if I can get a deck list, but you can talk a little bit about what to expect.
So Dane probably has a number of Last Breaths, the exile target creature, power 2 or less, and that player gains 4 life. A number of those come in if any more Celestial players are in his sideboard. The main card that the blue-white decks have been trying to get in their sideboard is Yoke Docs, the Kraken Hatchling variant. So that is a card that can come down turn 1. If he sides in Precinct Captains, it fits nicely with the curve of Yoke Doc Precinct Captain, and then just basically creates this wall that even with Mizzy Mortars and Shock, Dave Snow's going to have a hard time getting around. But what Dave Snow brings in is far more important. Dave Snow brings in...
Well, I can tell you exactly what he's going to bring in here if I...
Oh, we got deck lists.
I do.
I'll stop guessing about Yoke Doctors and Precinct Captains.
I would have never guessed that was Dave Snow's handwriting. So let's take a look at what he's got. So this is Dave's deck list. We got 2 hammers in the sideboard.
So the 2 hammers, the Mutavault, Skullcrack, all come in. The Perforos probably comes in.
He has 2 copies of Burning Earth.
Those maybe. Depends on what he has to side out.
There's 3 Reckoners, which I can't imagine those are as necessary.
Mainly we're looking at what he takes out. Definitely the 4 Shocks come out and the 2 Mizzy Mortars.
I think he takes out the Pyromancers.
The Pyromancers, huh?
I mean, he's playing against a deck that plays sweepers, and I don't know. He's going to be taking out most of his instants and sorceries anyway. So
he's got at least 6. Like I think the top 6 right there are the 2 hammers, the 1 Mutavault, the 3 Skullcrack are definitely the ones that come in.
He's going to bring in the Perforos for sure.
For the 2 Mizzy Mortars, 4 Shock, I don't know if he leaves in...
He'll leave in the lightning strikes.
I think he has to leave in all his creatures, honestly. I think even though Pyromancer isn't good in this matchup, like it's still just a 2-power.
This would be the point where I wish I had the ability to see exactly how they sideboarded. I guess we had a coverage reporter we could go see and see what was still in his box at this point. But apologize for the riffling of paper on the camera there, but look at what Dane brings in.
Does he have the Yoke Toxes? Yes,
Well,
he does.
what he has is some very difficult to read handwriting.
Last Breath.
Well, it looks like Last Boo. The
Yoke Dogs.
Yoke Dogs is coming in. Last Breath is coming in.
Aetherling, Negate, Dispel, Glare of Heresy, Ratchet Bomb.
Yeah, so basically he's bringing the Last Breaths and the Yoke Dogs for sure. And then
Glare of Heresy is definitely, and the one Ratchet Bomb.
The Glare of Heresy is remove white.
Is the Glare of Heresy? I thought the Glare, no. Yeah, Last Breath is the 2 or less power, you're right.
Yeah, it's the exile 2 or less, and they gain 4 life. He might bring in the Ratchet Bomb, but that seems too slow.
The cards he takes out are basically 4 dissolves.
Yeah, I would take out the counter spells as well.
No, the Syncopates are probably worse.
Syncopates are worse, especially on the draw here. So basically, it's Yoke Dogs and extra removal for Dane, and for Dave, it's non-creature threats in Perforos, the Hammer of Perforos, and an extra copy of Mutavault.
I'd be surprised if Dave brings in Burning Earth here, but it is a card that he could play.
More importantly, Dave mulling to 6 in Game 1, and he's mulling to 6 in Game 2 as well. So Dave mulled to 6 in the first game, drew, I believe, 7 lands by the time the game was over. That is very much a part of the game, so obviously...
Well, he's doing good all day.
He's running pretty good. He did 4-0. Both of these players went 4-0 in the Swiss. It was a 6-round Swiss tournament. They both double drew into the top 8. So these are 2 of the more accomplished players on the day based on their Swiss performance. Other people in the top 8, I'm just remembering off the top of my head because I didn't get a list. We've got, what's his name, Jason DeWitt, who is playing mono-red with Perforos in the main. He snuck in at 8th. Paul Mills from up in Morgantown as well. He's playing a big Boros deck. You've got Michael Newman from our Beckley squad who lost his round 1 matchup and then won out to make it to the top 8. He's playing...
Which by the way, gets you the second seed.
Yeah, because you have to play the last round,
yes.
so you have the most points. I think he's playing Jund.
Yes.
And
yes,
then we've also got Dane and Dave, as we see here. There's also Peyton Newman, I believe he's playing Mono Red
He's
from down
playing Mono Red. That was my round 5 class.
And Davey Newman, who is playing... Davey Newman is playing Big Boris as well.
So turn 1 Fire Dringer Satyr into turn 1 Island. Satyr's gonna like that. No planes into Yoke Dogs for Dane.
No white mana, period.
Wow.
So what does he have in his hand that he would have kept this one?
This might be a 2/1 drop turn for Dave.
Or at least a pump for 3 damage here.
So Dane should be at 18. Oh.
It is a Chandra's Phoenix, and it's going to result... Well, are the Syncopates still in? Oh, Essence Scatter.
Scatter's just fine.
I didn't look at his main deck to see if he had an Essence Scatter. Of course, that Essence Scattering on a Chandra's Phoenix not nearly as effective in terms of inevitability there.
There's a Plains.
But still no Yoke Dog, so the ground is clear. No Celestial Flare or... Is Last Breath, that's a double white as well?
No, that's colorless white.
Colorless white. So he does have that open.
2 ball coming at you, and we're going to pump.
Yeah. There's a very interesting situation there where you can try to bait the pump out and respond with a removal spell.
Yes.
Or if you're in Dave in that situation, you can not pump and just make him take the damage. So Dave's draws have been so clunky, both in the first game and in this game where he's only mustered.
So there's a Skullcrack.
So Dave just ended up turning Skullcrack here. Is he forcing Dane to... Well, Dave's just going to take it. I guess Dave is, at this point, maybe just doesn't have anything better to do. He gets his Chandra's Phoenix back. But I guess, trying to bait Dane into tapping his blue mana sources so that he could land possibly a Chandra or something like that. So he left the...
He only cast Syncopate for 2. Okay.
I think that was a gentleman's recognition of what he had untapped, so...
So here comes the verdict.
There's verdict's going to 2-for-1 Dave with his Fire Drinker Satyrs, but Dane tapped out on blue, and so Dave's going to have a free turn here to resolve whatever he can. And it's a Hammer of Perforos. He's going to make a dude and get in there for 5.
3. It's a 3/3.
For 3, I'm bad at magic. It drops him down to 5. Garrett, is it safe to say, as we're now joined by Michael Robinson as well, is it safe to say that it's hammer time at this point?
It is hammer time.
Is Dane going to be able to beat that hammer?
Hammer and Mutavault is, because the last 9 drop was a Mutavault. It's really hard for control decks to deal with.
It's very easy for him to play.
You can't de-sphere the Mutavault.
It's very easy for him to play a land and an Elspeth right here and just take over the game.
True. But by doing that, you tap yourself out.
Yeah, I don't think Elspeth is where you want to be in a blue-white control deck against a mono-red deck. Chances are, if you're getting that late into the game, you're already going to win.
I think you leave both in if you run 2 against this deck. You take out your Aetherling.
Yeah, I think he has his Aetherling in his hand. Of course, we thought he would take out the Syncopate as well, and that seems to be in his hand.
Was he on the play or on the draw?
He was on the draw.
Yeah, I would take out Syncopate too.
He's trying to find a way to navigate around this.
And I believe they haven't updated the life totals. I believe he's at 5 after that attack from the Golem token.
He's at 5. They probably got it right on their paper.
I'm not. I'm just clarifying for anybody looking at the life totals. I believe the ones that we have at the top are correct.
Azorius Charm. Azorius Charm is...
No, Dane just scoops them up. So Dave, off the back of one of 2 sideboarded
Hammers.
Hammer of Perforos. I mean, basically, the sideboarding strategy I'd imagine you would want for the red deck is siding out all your removal, which is basically useless. Obviously, the mortars, which literally don't have a target most of the time.
Right. And Shock is honestly cast more defensively than offensively.
Yeah, Shock is used to clear a spot. That's why you play Shock instead of
Jets.
a Magma Jet, because you just want to clear something, play another 1-drop, and allow your Fire Drinker Satyr or Rakdos Cackler to attack in profitably without trading with some kind of defensive creature. You're exactly right. And you just diversify the kind of threats that you're putting on the board. Obviously, Dave's deck, and a lot of these decks, they're more Sly decks than they are Red Deck Wins type decks. Dave only playing, what, 3, 2... Well, if we don't count mortars, which mortars don't really count as a burn spell, obviously. But outside of that, he's playing 3, 4, and 3, so 10 burn spells in his deck. So heavily creature-based deck. And obviously, Dane's deck designed very much to beat creatures. So adding the Perforos, adding the Hammer of Perforos, bringing in the Mutavault, which is basically a non-creature threat, and possibly, that we don't know if he has it in, the Burning Earth as well. So.
The best cards for Dave to have in his opening hand are Mutavault and Chandra's Phoenix. You basically see a concession to that in Dane's sideboard as the Last Breaths, but,
So the Last Breath does exile.
Last Breath does exile. However, if you see 2 lands and 3 creatures standing down, you're going to Last Breath one of those creatures. You're not going to save it.
Yeah, you don't have especially on the play, you don't have I guess on the play you're in better shape, but you don't have the luxury of deciding I'm going to sit back and assume he plays a Chandra's Phoenix.
Well, there's chairs over there if you want to grab one.
Oh, I'm fine. My buddy's in top 8, so...
Is he playing mono red as well? Is that Peyton?
Jason.
Is his first name really Peyton?
No.
Oh, Jason DeWitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing a mono red deck too.
There's also a Peyton playing mono red.
There's a lot of mono red.
Well, no one is surprised by that, I don't think yet.
I've come to the realization that every single states you play in October is going to have a lot of red decks. No matter the format, no matter what.
I mean, last year, you could say the exception was green-black zombies, but in theory, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So we got our opening 7 here.
Oh, I didn't play in last year's. I missed that one.
Dave has not kept a 7-card hand in any of the 3 games that we've played so far. Obviously, much better situation doing this on the draw, but still, with a deck like Mono Red, which is so resource dependent, that extra card vitally crucial, much more crucial than in Dane's deck.
I think on the play, Dane's cards just get so much better. Like Sphinx's Revelation on the play, Elspeth on the play, Syncopate on the play.
Yeah, Syncopate, I mean, I think...
Supreme Verdict, definitely.
Supreme Verdict on the play.
Obviously, if he's not taking the Syncopatus out on the draw, he's not going to take them out on the play, but, had he done that, I would definitely make a dissolve for Syncopate swap in this spot.
And definitely, I mean, everything now you have to factor in if you're not running a monocolored deck. There's a percentage of your curve that you have to equate. Am I going to be able to play this on 3, or am I going to have to play this on 4 because I have to play a Guild Gate on 3? You can't always say that I'm going to run 4 Supreme Verdicts because my turn 4 is my pivotal turn. You might have to run 3 Supreme Verdicts and an extra Detention Sphere because you're Guild Gating on turn 3. On turn 4.
I don't see a lot of lands.
You see a mountain and a lot of 2-cost spells. So Dave deciding how dangerous he wants to live here. And Dave, the ever-disciplined player, mulling to 5. So it's an unfortunate circumstance here. Obviously, mulling to 5, many a player has won a legitimate game. Mulling to 5, but
Crossfire. That's what's happening right now.
Mulling to 5 in this format, the exception could be the red deck, but I've won many games on mull to 5.
the problem is, like in a deck like yours, which you played red, white, black kind of mid-range today, is that the individual card quality of those 5 cards you mull to is going to be a lot better than the... Dave's playing Fire Drinker Saker, for God's sake. You just need a lot of them.
He's playing the 2-mana Fire Drinker Saker called Chandra's Pyromancer.
If it comes down to...
Pyromancer.
If it comes down to just a one card versus 1 card kind of affair, Dane's deck is always going to win.
But I think some people forget, like, I talked to my friend about it yesterday, and he kept a 6-card hand in FNM last night with 1 land and an Elvish Mystic. And my theory was that Magic players especially, forget that their opponents are human.
Their opponents get to play spells too? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, that they could keep loose keeps too.
Right.
They can keep loose, do-nothing hands, especially if you're on the play and you decide to mulligan first, like that. Like, psychologically, that loose hand looks a lot better. And I think some people just forget that, a good 5 could beat a loose 7.
Sure. But it looks like Dave did find 5 cards that he's content to keep, and he has stuck a Firefist Striker here off of a Mutavault draw, which is definitely something important to note.
Doesn't have to play around Dissolve here.
Yep, so there's the Chandra's Phoenix. Is that going to stick? And there is a Dissolve.
Whoa. Go in there.
Oh, is that a Guild Gate?
Yeah, that's
he's
a Guild
got it.
Gate. Oh, man.
I'm not running in there. I'm not doing that here.
I had
It was kind of hidden.
palpitations here.
Is Dissolve remove it from the game?
No.
Okay. Dave has his...
Dave's graveyard is
yeah,
sideways.
he uses the strategy of...
Life totals are 18, 20. Now I'm going to go down to 16. As we see, I'm assuming that that's Jeremy Bell's finger coming in from the side.
I appreciate it if it is. So there's a Dissolve that's going to catch the front half of a Burning Tree Emissary chain. Has Dane left both cards he scryed with off the Dissolve on the top?
Yes.
And there's a Lightning Strike while Dane is tapped out.
Get my Phoenix back.
Buy back your Phoenix and set yourself up for a reasonable turn.
We did say that the 2 most important cards for Dave Davin's opening hand were Mutavault and Chandra's Phoenix.
Yes. I wouldn't mind Chandra itself as well, but looks like Dane's sitting back on at least an Essence Scatter, I think I see in his hand.
So can we officially say that it's
There's
scat?
another Mutable.
Can we officially say that it's scat time?
Scatter. I'm never saying that. Now, is he going to load up the Mutavault here and get in? Imagine if you don't have...
I'm pretty sure if Dane counters, which it looks like he is.
You attack with the Mutavault.
Yeah.
So send for 4, dropping Dane down to 9. I think Dave only has 1 card left in his hand, but he does have Battalion active off of 2 Mutavaults next turn if he wants it. I'm not
so not even a Yoketox can be the out here.
I'm going to look at Dane's list real quick to see...
He set that plan aside, which either leads me to believe it's a Jace or a Yoketox.
No, he's been doing that with his counter magic too. Like, he's telegraphed all the cards in his hand for the entire...
He did that against me too. I played him in a Swiss. And
Jace's so good against the mono red deck whenever it comes down as +1. Basically gaining him 3 life this turn.
I just wanted to check in Dane's list. He's not playing Encroaching Waste. So there's no direct out to the Mutavault, short of some kind of edict.
The Celestial Flares, about as good as it gets.
And the Last Breath.
And we're going to land a Chandra here while Dane's tapped out. So ping Dane directly, dropping him to 8, getting Chandra up to 5, rebind the Chandra's Phoenix, serving in for 2 at the Firefist. Oh, it is 1 because of the delayed trigger from Jace. Jace's Architect of Thought, making my life difficult since 2012. So Dane's in a spot here. He's got a D-Sphere, which can take out that Chandra, but that's not going to answer the Phoenix, or at least the attack from 3 creatures next turn.
Yeah, Dave.
And more importantly, Dane's getting to the point of the game where he's just in danger of getting burnt out. So he's got
I see a Sphinx.
He has 2. He has 2 Sphinx's Revelation.
And he lets Dave untap, which could be a mistake if Dave has Skullcrack.
Yeah.
And there's a Burning Tree Emissary.
Can I have a cupcake?
Into Phoenix.
Into activate Mutavault.
And here comes the team. Not even a Celestial Flare's going to be good here.
So I'm thinking Dave Snow just doesn't have the Skullcrack.
Yes.
Here's the Rev.
For 3.
For 3.
So
he's going to take 1, 2. He's going to take 3 and lose 3, right?
And effectively take 4 from the Chandra that hasn't activated yet this turn.
Which is happening.
So it goes down to 6 here. And we know that there's another Sphinx's Revelation, but drawing those cards and gaining that life is not going to be... I mean, I don't really think gaining another 3 life is going to get this accomplished.
Sphinx's Revelation in this format is not near as powerful as it was last format. Like, you're not buying it back. Most of the time, the decks are so fast that you're casting it for 2 or 3 that you don't get.
Well, the Rev decks got worse, losing their Snapcasters, but not only that, the Restoration Angels that went with them.
Definitely.
Oh, so really strong turn from Dane here, but he's tapped out.
He's going to take 2 from these Mutavaults.
He's going to take 2 from the Mutavaults. Does Dave have 2 burn spells in his hand, or does he have the mana to cast them? So dropping him down to 4 off of Mutavault attacks and just passes back. We know that there's another Sphinx's Revelation in Dane's hand. He also has 2 more Detention Spheres, which are basically useless at this point, I think.
So if he has a Rev, he's got to fire it off now.
Yeah, and he's going to.
So draw 4, gain 4, puts him back up to 8. Life total effectively 6 because of the Mutavault attacks, which are impending. There's a Magna Jet in turn, probably the best card that Dave could have at this point, short of a Skullcrack. Set up the, well, Dave's going to be happy about that as Dave immediately pushes both.
I think 1 was a mountain at least, I saw.
So Dane's life total effectively 4 here.
Did he buy back? He did not buy back his Chandra off the Magma Jet. I think Dave missed that. Unless that's that card. I didn't see him grab it though. I mean, I could be wrong. Dave's not one to miss a trigger like that.
Dave does announce his Chandra trigger though and place it up in front of his lands. Give his opponent a chance to respond to it. So if that didn't happen, I'm assuming that it was just a mistrigger.
Does he have a Chandra in his hand? Is that what the card is? Is he deciding if he wants to get 2 damage in or he wants to resolve Planeswalker? We know the Planeswalker's immediately going to get D-sphered. Oh, he's deciding if he wants to attack Jace or not.
Yeah, Jace is
he's just going
meeting that turn.
Yeah, he's just going to...
And Catford.
He's just going to do 1 damage to Jace to keep him honest. and one short of ultimating. I guess the good news for Dave in this situation is he's got his opponent down to 5, and while his opponent has a billion cards in hand.
There's a mutavault from Dane, so...
Which is huge.
Yeah, it is.
D-Sphere, the...
D-Sphere on the Cackler. So Dave effectively can only get in for 1 here.
The 1-2 mutavault is going to get eaten by the 2-2 mutavault on Dane's side.
I'm telling you, you charter the face and knock the top of your deck.
So Dave just passes back with no play, so not willing to sacrifice his mutavault into the Jace.
Yeah, Jace's ultimating.
Yeah,
Chances are it's Boros Reckoner, I think, is the best card.
He doesn't play...
Shouldn't have Reckoners in his deck.
I don't think he plays Reckoner.
He's got him in the sideboard. Either a Chandra or a Young Pyromancer here.
Chandra would probably be the best bet.
And what does Dane get himself?
The Elspeth.
Yeah. We talked about that in between turn runs. Now, obviously, the game is in... He's getting a hammer. I guess that's pretty good, too.
Well, I guess that means that answers the question if Dave sided in his Perforos or not.
Yeah, because he did get it.
Because if he saw Perforos and got his Perforos and Elspeth, wombo combo right there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. But Dane's not going to be able to activate the hammer, is he?
No.
Because he doesn't have red mana.
Maybe it's just for Aetherling. He wants to close the game out.
I can't imagine the hammer being the correct one to get.
I can't either. And Azorius Charm out of his deck, wow.
All these things seem horribly wrong to me.
I think he's...
Is this real life?
But Dane has obviously made it to the top 8, whereas I am sitting in a hallway talking about...
He's actually looking at different Azorius Charms now. He thumbed over the Azorius Charm with the other one.
There's an Elspeth still in his deck.
He's getting the Jace. Ultimate my Jace to get a Jace.
I'm actually fine with it. I think that's fine, too.
Maybe the thinking was to get a hammer out of Dave's deck so Dave can't draw a hammer.
That's fine, yeah.
I mean, he is at 5 life, and that is a very dangerous total.
I figured Dane just had another Jace in his hand, and that's the reason why he was willing to ultimate it.
He's minusing it to Azorius Charm, Detention Sphere.
In a land. You give him the charm, right?
Yeah, you
Charm
by
or
itself in the land and Detention Sphere.
Yeah.
Because infinite Detention Spheres isn't really going to do anything.
Dave's actually lucky that Dave drew another Rakdos Cackler to give him something to D-Sphere anyway.
Yeah.
So he can D-Sphere the hammer.
He's going to need to... Oh, and there he had
That's
drawn
the
an
reason
Elspeth.
why.
No, there was one in this deck, too.
Yeah, I saw one. Maybe he just wanted to play it from his hand and get value off the Jace.
No, that makes a lot of sense now, but... yeah, you do have to tap some mana to pay that spell. The more important question is how many counterspells does Dane have left? Because he's still a couple turns away from winning this game. And, Dave can just very easily just untap Lightning Strike you, untap Magma Jet you.
Yeah. The question
untap,
is...
Lightning Strike you, get my Chandra's Phoenix back, attack for 2, or attack for 1. Here's the Jace
He's
Blast.
already
Well,
dissipated.
we know the Azorius Charm is going to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get the Azorius Charm eventually. Yeah, he has one in his hand already. He's naturally drawn one.
Is it quiet enough that you guys are doing commentary or what?
Well, we are... Yeah, we're doing it right now.
Sorry about that.
I didn't know how to respond with it. Yeah, we figured it was.
So Dave's finally going to get to draw his card for his turn. After Dane's 10-minute turnover on his side.
How did Dane gain life here?
I want to point out
We
that,
attacked with the soldiers and Azorius Charm lifelink.
that of all the 5-color cupcakes that were here, that there is no longer islands left. They were the first ones gone.
Islands are the best.
And then it looks like Dane blocking, or he's using the exile card. What's the card I'm thinking about? Last Breath? He's using Last Breath on his own guy to gain 4 life. So I think this game is effectively over.
Seems fine.
With Dane at 5 life and a questionable number of counterspells, if any, in his hand, then Dave had a chance. But at this point, it's all over. But the actual going
He
through the
plays
motions.
Chromatic Lantern and then sacrifices one of his own lands to Hammer Purpose, just for stout points. Technically, he only needs one mountain. He can ultimate this chase again, get a mountain out of Dave's deck.
And one turn, make a dude.
Yes.
And stall and make an ass out of himself.
Yes.
And everybody in the room will hate him.
Well, it'd be interesting to go back and see if Dave did miss a Chandra's Phoenix trigger. I'm not sure it would have mattered, but it'd be interesting to go back and see exactly how many attacks that Dave could have gotten in with it should he have had it.
Well, there was turns there where Dane's hand was detention spheres.
Missing 2
And
damage.
Chandra's
from
going to
the-
hit for 2, and that, I mean, when you're lightning strike range, then the whole world of possibilities opens up to you.
I was thinking the exact same thing when I saw him miss it. By my count, he missed 1 attack.
Oh, we try to double block with the Mutavaults and we get Celestial flared for our efforts, and we did miss he did play a Mutavault this turn, and even though it has haste,
There's a miracle.
there's a Mutavault right here and one back there that he just played this turn. So missing the 2 points of damage here is definitely probably going to cost him this game.
No, I think that one was over when
There's the handshake.
when Dane chained Sphinx's, when Dane naturally drew 2 Sphinx's Revelation. It's very tough for Dave to come back from that. Dave drew a lot of lands in the 2 games that he lost, but that is obviously a part of Magic. Of course, Dave mulled to 6 and 5 as well, but the blue-white control deck of Dane Looman wins the quarterfinals and advances to the semis. Other semifinal results, I heard that Jason DeWitt won, who was playing a...
Mono red mirror match.
okay.
So can we get a fist bump from Do It?